start now, I know it's cut off. And if I start later, I know there's going to be a delay. You're wasting your precious seconds. Anyway, hello and welcome, fellow sovereigns. So you can't do anything wrong. Just do something and it'll turn out right. That's the theory I've come up with. And I'll explain it in vivid detail right now. So, of course, I've been around for about 264 years. And in that time, I've made a lot of mistakes. A lot of things I have regretted. And I've hurt people. And I've done stuff. However, we've all survived somehow. I'm alive. I got up this morning. I got dressed. I got showered. Everything's working. I'll go into details. Everything's working. I'm smiling and I'm still living. And the same with you. You've all made mistakes, so to speak. And maybe we need to make mistakes because that's living. So let me go back to another person, Carolyn Mace. And her theory, one of many, is that we're all in this train. And it's on a train track. And it's going one direction. We're all going the same place, actually. So we don't actually have a choice about the final destination. However, you might want to get off at this station. I might want to get off at that station. And somebody else at another place. There's a train stopping and starting and carrying on. And so I might spend a day, a year or something in this other diversion. And you might spend a day, a year, a minute, whatever, in some other diversion. And we've learnt something out of that. And we've filled our psyche up. We've filled our spirit up with new learnings. And we get back on the same train, on the same track. And then I'll get back on the same train. Oh, we'll meet up. And so we get off and on the track, off and on the train, sorry, backwards and forwards. But we get back on the same train, eventually. So it doesn't matter what decisions we make, we still end up in the same place. We still end up going to where we're meant to go. Which kind of answers that question about free will. Do we have free will? Yes, we have a measure of it. We can choose to get off the train. We can choose what diversions, what experiences, what relationships, what jobs, what, I don't know, health choices we make along the way. So that's the free will, but the final destination is set. I mean, this is a theory. All of these are theories. But it seems to be working for me. So given that it doesn't really matter what we're doing, we're going the same place, whatever we do, it's going to work out fine. And so the problem that we have is that when we are trying to work out the future, we've got choices. We don't know, do I do this, that, or the other thing? Usually what we're thinking is what can go wrong. Because we've had experiences in the past and things have hurt us, things have damaged us, our finances, our health, our emotions, our jobs, things have gone wrong. And so when we're making choices about the future, we generally try and choose the option that gives us less pain. The fact is we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know what's going to happen in 5 minutes' time. It might rain, I don't know. A neighbour might knock on the door. Who knows what could happen in the next 5 minutes, in the next hour, in the next day, the next year. We don't know. And so what we do is we sit and stew. And I'm being very good at this, as some people will know. I've been very good at sitting and stewing and going, oh, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Do I sell my house? Do I go to New Zealand? Do I go and live in Italy? Do I, whatever. Do I stay here? Choices, choices, choices. And we've always got them, believe it or not. What I've come to discover through my experience is that when I take some sort of tangible action towards one option or another, I will start to know more clearly what I should be doing. So while I'm sitting here theorizing and worrying and fretting and what should I do, no clear answer comes to me. So let's give an example. In June, next month, I've got a spare 3 weeks. And so I have space, like time space and physical space to play with. And I could stay here and just carry on do what I do. Another option is I could try. One idea was to have a train trip up to Cairns, because Cairns is a very hot place, but it's a good place to go to in winter, and we're in winter. So that's an option. I could take my push bike, hop on a train, or I could drive up on my car, or I could go on my motorbike. Oh my God, already there's 3 options. Or I could go to New Zealand and catch up with friends and family over there, and a few other things that could happen. Or I could go to Italy, or I could go to Cambodia. There's a whole lot of options open to me. And I could choose this, that, or the other thing. And while I'm sitting here thinking about it, I can't come up with a definite option, choice. However, when I start taking action towards one of those things, or a couple of them, so for example, I might just start looking at airfares to Italy and accommodation in Italy. I don't know why I'm choosing Italy, just making it up. When I start looking at the accommodation costs and the costs of travel there and the things that I can do there, when I start actually doing some investigation, maybe talking to people, I know some Italians, it might become clear, because I'll somehow, when I get more facts, when I get off my bum and do something about it, it'll become clear that that's a really bad idea or it's a really good idea. It won't be in the middle. When I start taking action, it'll be clear. Or it might be I look at the airfares to New Zealand and see what other people are doing in New Zealand, and maybe that's an option. Or I start looking at the train fares here, because there's an old fella where you get really cheap train fares up to Cairns. So I could do the train trip, and then I'd have to look at what can I do up in Cairns, and where would I stay, and do I take my push bike, or do I motorcycle up, or whatever. So when I actually start taking action, and the action may not be doing the job, but doing some investigation, getting some facts together, when I start moving towards one thing or another, it might be Cairns, it might be Italy, it might be New Zealand, I'm just making up 3. When I start heading towards one of them, it will become clear that this is getting better. I didn't realize this. So it might become clear that this is the one to do. Or I might find that if I'm, I don't know, going to Cairns, I still have to wear a mask on the train and do all that sort of, I don't know. These are silly stuff. And as I investigate the trip to Cairns, more and more objections might come up, and so it will become clear that I shouldn't go to Cairns. Okay, having taken the action towards it, it will become clearer. And so when we sit and stew, nothing is clear. When we start taking action, clarity happens. And I might just get on that train to Cairns and end up in the Sunshine Coast and go, yeah, I don't want to go any further. Hey, this is cool here. So the whole trip might start out as a Cairns trip, and it might end up as a Sunshine Coast trip, or a somewhere else trip. What else is up there? Rockhampton and all sorts of other places. So all I'm saying is that while we're stewing, nothing happens. No clarity comes to us. When we take a step forward, we might take the wrong step, in the sense of I might get on the train to Cairns, and then part way through that trip, here's a better idea while I'm on the trip. And it often happens. People start businesses in a certain, selling particular products, and it doesn't work. But somehow they get talking to their employees or their customers and they go, oh, that's what I really want to do. So they've started the wrong business and all they've needed to do is step sideways. But if they hadn't started at all, they wouldn't have got into those conversations with the customers or the employees or whoever and to do the business that they hadn't thought of when they started. Do you understand that? I do. So sometimes we can actually start on the road, get moving. And whether it's holidays or businesses or whatever choices, moving to a new place to live. We go there and you go, actually, I don't really like it here. And then we get talking to the neighbours and they go, actually, what? Have you looked just down the road? There's a wonderful whatever. And so you kind of come to the wrong place, but you're closer. You're closer to where you are, than you would have been if you'd sat back and thought about it, and stewed about it, and worried about it, and thought of all the things that could go wrong. I don't think I have anything else to say. So that's what I'm in the process of doing now. Choosing, I don't know why, Italy keeps coming up. Sounds like a nice place. But I'm a little bit worried about all the hoo-ha over there in Europe. And but there's hoo-ha everywhere. It's a funny old world everywhere. And if we walk in peace, walk in love, then somehow we walk through the mayhem untouched by it. So I wish you taking action on choices and knowing that you could get it wrong, but getting it wrong will get it closer to being right. And I bless you and all who sail in her.